Castanet is an efficiency tool. It's designed to help you do all the things you would do anyway to get a conversation started with an ideal prospect. And our technology actually stops the automation as soon as a response is detected.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Geoff Chaney. He is a partner and executive GM at Castanet or Castanet. Geoff, which one is it? And thank you for joining.
We'll answer to either one of those. Just like Go HighLevel, I know you get called both. Go Castanet, we go by both.
Nice. I was going to say, we can relate to this all too well. Geoff, I'm excited to have you on today. We're talking about prospecting today, and we're talking about a cool integration that you guys have built. Before we hop into it, I'd love to hear your backstory. Did you have an agency? Were you a marketer? What led you guys? You guys actually acquired this tool and have been improving it over the years, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me on the call today. This is an awesome opportunity to get in front of everybody. So my backstory, as you said, I'm the executive general manager at Castanet. Been in marketing, sales, and technology for over a decade now. But Castanet, we did acquire just about 2 years ago. And we acquired it because it was one of those tools that as a venture studio that we operate, we have multiple different pieces of SaaS technology. And we used Castanet at the core of our lead generation for every one of our companies. And so we had the opportunity to fold it into our portfolio. We jumped on it. I've been at the helm running the company for the last year. And, you know, it's a really, really fun piece of tech. And it's really neat to be able to work with so many agency partners and build out our white label solutions for them.
Well, that's why I think it's pretty cool, right? Like we get hit up by LinkedIn connectors all the time. But I was impressed how far you guys have taken this. So you have a full agency program. You built the native integration with HighLevel. So this seems to be a pretty, this is not a fly-by-night LinkedIn scraper. Yeah, this is an established tool. And we're even going to hear from one of our mutual customers, I think, in a minute. Which is exciting. But talk to me about, in general, the current state of LinkedIn prospecting.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are, just to clarify, we are an agency first model. So our technology was really designed to be white labeled, and we offer phenomenal support to our agency partners to help with handling the technology and also the fulfillment of ongoing services and support to your clients. But the status of LinkedIn lead generation and prospecting is kind of a constantly moving target. LinkedIn is always changing things, and it's so incredibly important that we continue to adopt and adjust and modify our technology to suit where the industry is at today. And we've really pioneered that, and we've adapted our software to be able to adjust to those changes when they do occur really, really quickly. But what we're seeing is, you know, there's always going to be the abusers in the space. You know, you get people that are sending generic messages to large generic audiences, and it falls on deaf ears, and people really see that kind of automation as being a nuisance. Sure. We've really carved out a niche where we don't even allow our users to abuse any of the permissions that LinkedIn provides to them. We set smart limits on our users so that we really force people to niche down and focus on hyper targeted list of prospects with very specific messaging to ensure that it's as genuine, one-to-one, and personalized as it can be.
Very cool. Well, it looks like Hunter is actually here, so I'm going to bring him in. And I know he mentioned he was pressed for time, so definitely want to hear from Hunter.
How's it going?
Fantastic.
Hey, Hunter. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Geoff mentioned that you're pressed for time, so I wanted to bring you in right away and hear from you. You've been using Castanet in conjunction with HighLevel for a while now?
That's right. Well, for just a little bit of time, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, talk to us about it. I mean, what industry do you serve?
So I typically serve agencies,
okay,
and their clients.
So you help agencies find new customers, new clients?
I do technical services for them. So
Okay.
managed services. I do a lot of work behind the curtain.
Got it. So you're a builder or an artist, as we call them.
Our architect, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So talk to me about LinkedIn prospecting. What are you seeing?
Well, obviously, I love Geoff's solution, right? And he had mentioned you got to check out this Go High Level because I was doing a lot of the manual integrations. And what I mean by that is, going and connecting Zapier and building email campaigns, making sure they're integrated. And it's quite a bit of work, especially when you're managing over 40 clients. So went to Go High Level and just really saw how easy it was. And I was like, man, thank you for doing that. It's pretty simple,
Nice. Well, we're going to check out the actual tool and what it looks like and how it works in a bit. But talk to me about LinkedIn prospecting in general. I mean, you're finding good results and the tool helps you sort of narrow down on a really targeted audience.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think Geoff's tool in general has a lot of abilities to be human-like. And then, of course, you need to pair that with somebody who's an expert user or somebody who can give good guidance. So with those things, I'm able to appear like a human for all of our clients, right? And our staff's able to manage some of the inbound along with that. Some things like, for instance, viewing profiles or endorsing profiles, just constantly show up in people's notifications, which is basically the same thing you would be doing if you did it manually to get attention. It's not necessarily just even the messaging, but half of it is just seeing you around. Right? And that tool is able to do that very well.
Interesting. Very cool. Well, Hunter, thanks so much for dropping in. I know that you got to run. I don't want to keep you for too long, but Geoff, I do want to hear more about things like sales training and stuff. I know that you guys are sort of more than just a tool, right? You guys have sort of an agency package where you talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, one of the things that we're doing is we're not just providing software and walking away. As Hunter knows, we really try to provide a tremendous level of support to all of our agency partners and their clients. So we have a comprehensive training program that every user can go through at no additional cost. We have agency training programs where we not just focus on the software, but basically how to implement the software as a division of your business and how to generate revenue utilizing it. But then as far as the ongoing outreach strategies go, those are always evolving. The things you say, the way you say them, and how you engage with prospects is critical in the LinkedIn ecosystem. So yeah, we do provide a tremendous level of ongoing support and guidance for all of our partners.
Well, that's great. I mean, I honestly think that most people coming into prospecting probably learn that lesson the hard way, right? You probably waste a lot of time and money sending some pretty generic spammy kind of stuff and seeing low quality results. And so I think that's great that you guys go beyond just being the vehicle, but also sort of helping people not shoot themselves in the foot while they're getting up and going with this.
Well, it's so important. It's so incredibly important because once somebody has a bad experience with a piece of technology, they get intimidated by it. They don't want to do it again. They'll kind of pull back. And so what we want to do is make sure that everyone is kind of going to market with the right plan and an effective approach to whatever vertical they're targeting. And there's some things that most people wouldn't think about when initiating an outreach campaign on LinkedIn, whether using automation with our technology or not. But it really comes back to a lot of the fundamentals. First and foremost, is your LinkedIn profile well optimized? And people always ask me, well, what does that mean? And at the end of the day, what it means is, are you telling LinkedIn what you do? Do they fully understand who you are as a user? Do they believe that you're a real human being? Or are you still kind of under scrutiny? Because their AI is so sophisticated and it's watching your user behaviors and it's seeing how you normally interact on LinkedIn. And when you have a radical change in behavior, that's a red flag. And so LinkedIn looks at that.
That's interesting.
Something's wrong. Something's going on with this profile. And you want to make sure that your position in the LinkedIn ecosystem is one that LinkedIn trusts. So when you add things like a header image and a profile image and you tell LinkedIn what services you provide and what you talk about if you activate creator mode, you can put in hashtags. When you put in your education and your past work history, and then those third-party endorsements or recommendations from other clients, all of those things basically add up your LinkedIn credit score. And they look at this and say, hey, that is a authenticated user. And so when they do see that you're using their platform to do outreach and prospecting and engage with people, and you've got a lot of conversations and profile views and searches occurring, they'll generally just feel like, okay, this is a real user doing real user things. And most people don't realize that it doesn't matter if you're using automation or not. If you increase your output on LinkedIn and start doing things that are not normal, if your profile's not well optimized, LinkedIn may ask you to verify your identity or just put a stop on your account and say, hey, you've hit your limit for the day. You need to cool it.
Well, that makes total sense. And that, I mean, that seems obvious, but you know, I hadn't really thought of that myself. Like before you go fire up prospecting, you should probably start warming your account up in general, right? Like clicking around and liking articles and sharing things and posting yourself and all these types of things that a real user would do. Because I imagine it would be pretty easy algorithmically to just find accounts that do nothing but spam people with outbound messaging.
But that is not the space we want to play in. We want to work with real, genuine users who are genuinely looking to get authentic conversations started with the right prospects on LinkedIn. Castanet is an efficiency tool. It's designed to help you do all the things you would do anyway to get a conversation started with an ideal prospect. And our technology actually stops the automation as soon as a response is detected, because we don't want to continue to go down a path of having an artificial conversation. This is all about kind of what I call the 80-20 rule. If you identify 1,000 prospects on LinkedIn, I guarantee you 800 of them aren't ready to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you, or they're not interested in buying your product or service yet. But there's 200 of them, the 20%, that are probably ready to have a conversation, and a smaller percentage of that ready to buy. So Castanet really helps you work through that first 800 so that you're not spending your time and resources on just cold outreach on LinkedIn. But as soon as that conversation is initiated, you get an alert, you can pop into the inbox, you can manage the conversation from there and take over and let the automation focus on just getting more conversations started.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It's a conversation starter. Before we check it out, I do also want to talk about your model, which I love. You guys are white label, right? So, you know, a lot of people think prospecting, they think for my agency to get me more clients, but you have built this out to really be a product that you resell, a new revenue stream, a new offering for agencies to prospect for their clients on their behalf.
Exactly. So as I mentioned, you know, Castanet is an agency first model. We work with literally hundreds and hundreds of different agencies around the world. We're in 19 different countries. And our agencies are using it two ways. They use it for themselves, first and foremost. They want to generate leads. They want to talk to new prospects, and they want to provide it as a service to their clients. So traditionally, it's packaged as a B2B lead generation service. We white label our technology to the agency themselves. They're able to provide the software, and so they can just provide SaaS model if they want to sell seats on their white label platform and just have their users log in, manage their own campaigns. No problem. That model is most commonly sold to organizations that have sales teams. So if you got a client that has 10 sales reps, well, you can sell them 10 seats on your white labeled Castanet account. And their users can log in and manage their own profiles themselves. But then we have the fulfillment opportunity. Then the agencies can charge a premium to manage LinkedIn outreach on behalf of their clients. And I mean, you can charge between $1,500 and $2,500 a month, and even more with the HighLevel integration, because I would say $1,500 to $2,500 is standard for just if you're just selling Castanet managed services. But if you add on HighLevel and all of the things you can do with that prospect after the conversation gets started,
Right.
much, much more than that.
Very cool. I love it. Well, let's check it out. You want to take us on a quick tour?
Yeah, let's do it. Let me move my screen around a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you within the HighLevel system on this particular account. I just have a couple sample workflows that we built. And I just want to show you those so that when it comes up here in a second, you'll understand the connection.
Sure.
So this is the, I'm actually going to show you my account. Let's just go to Geoff Chaney and go month over month. All right, so what you're looking at here is Castanet is giving us a snapshot of what it's doing on this profile's behalf. And you can see first up here at the top left, I have my main account and I have 7 LinkedIn profiles that I'm managing under a single account. So as an agency, you can have profiles that are under your agency account. Then you can also add sub accounts under you with their own list of profiles. So that means you can manage your own accounts, your own LinkedIn initiatives for driving revenue, and you can also manage profiles on behalf of your client without having to log in and out of a bunch of different profiles. This is all seamlessly under one login.
Cool.
You see the system is sending connection requests, it's doing endorsements, it's sending messages, it can do follows and profile views. On average, for this particular profile, I'm averaging between 500 and 700 connection requests are being sent automatically on my behalf to targeted individuals on a monthly basis. Now, obviously, this is going to vary based on who I'm targeting and what the output rate I've set for the campaign is. But it's also important to note that you're never going to see the same numbers twice because the system is behaving randomly throughout the day. It will log into the LinkedIn profile, do a little bit of this, log back out, log back in, do a little bit of that. And it does this in order to be as human-like and authentic as possible. You can see here, one of the campaigns I'm running is targeting 971 prospects. We're getting a 24% acceptance rate so far and a 5% response rate. This one's lagging a little bit behind an average, but over time it will increase. But typically what we're shooting for is a nice healthy rate of about 30% acceptance rate, maybe as high as 35, and a 12 to 18% reply rate. That's right where we want to be as far as setting expectations.
Cool.
Now, so that's the dashboard. And then the other key elements are inbox, campaigns, and sequences. These are kind of the most important elements of the system. Your inbox manages your communication, so you have no need to log in to LinkedIn to manage conversations. And especially if you're providing this as a service to your client, this makes it really easy to see everything that's happening in the client's LinkedIn profile within Castanet, so you can manage all the dialogues seamlessly here. So just to show you what that looks like, here you can see, I can see all my prospects. If they have a phone number or an email address on file, it displays those. You can click to send an email, click to call if you've got a voice over IP set up. The other thing that really stands out here is you can change the statuses. So you can manage conversations and kind of where they're at what point they're at in the conversation, whether they're engaged, talking, or trying to book an appointment or not interested. All of these are important to manage and just streamline how you're interacting with prospects on a daily basis. Conversations, you can click to view, you can respond, you can then change the status. Some of the statuses that we have here are automatically changed based on what the user is doing. And these other ones are manual statuses. So for example, if I change the status of this lead to follow up in CRM, that's actually the HighLevel trigger to send this lead into HighLevel and put them into a workflow. So this would be an instance where a customer or prospect said, hey, this sounds really interesting. I'd love to know more. Well, boom. My goal now is to get this conversation offline. I want to get it out of LinkedIn and into an environment I can control.
Sure.
So I might respond back with a link to my calendar, change their status to follow up in CRM. Instantaneously, they just got an email with me with some more details, and we're now transitioning that conversation out.
Like it.
Some sequences, campaigns are your target audience. So this is where I showed you that list of prospects I was targeting. Here they are, and here is every single one of them. So this system is importing these leads directly from LinkedIn and then putting them into what we call the sequence. And the sequence is the series of actions you want the system to take. So for example, this is the sequence that we built for this particular list of prospects. One of the things we do is we talk about, hey, we lead off with, do you want to discuss a partnership? And I actually include a video in that message so that it automatically displays a quick 1-minute video of me giving context to the partnership. This is sent at the time of invite. So step 1, send an invitation, right? We got to do that because we got to connect with these people first. Step 2, send a message. This is triggered 1 day after the invitation is accepted. But the automation will stop if a response is detected. And so that's important because we always want to view responses before we let the automation continue. Every single response will give you the option of reinitiating the automation if it's appropriate. So 1 day later, we send another follow-on message. Then for step 3, we send an endorsement. And an endorsement is nothing more than where the system will go in and endorse that prospect for a skill that they have listed on their profile. Just picks one automatically that's already associated to their profile. The user will get a notification that says, hey, Chase just endorsed you for marketing strategies. And now I can go, oh, hey, thanks, Chase. And I see, oh, you've already sent me 2 other messages that maybe I've overlooked. And it's a great way of kind of giving them a little LinkedIn nudge.
Interesting.
Step 4, send another message with time delay. Step 5, well, there is no step 5. This is where we chose to basically end our sequence. Typically for prospecting purposes, you're going to want to have 4 to 7 touch points in the first 30 days. That's going to be the best, most effective number of touch points. But here's where it gets interesting. What happens after someone connects with you? Well, because we have our high-level integration activated, this is automatically built into the sequence builder. So as a high-level user, it goes, we noticed you've got multiple workflows already set up in your high-level account. So I can say workflow number 1 is for all LinkedIn prospects who connect with me. If they connect with me, it's just going to drop them in to my CRM tool. It's going to maybe tag them with a unique tag, so I know they came from LinkedIn and are part of a certain campaign. And then maybe it sends that welcome email that I mentioned automatically. So it's kind of like that, hey, thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. Let's take this conversation offline. Now, if the lead says, I'm interested, I want to talk more, then maybe that would be workflow number 2. So now that you've defined what workflows are associated with this particular outreach, you just hit save. So now you've created your unique sequence for a unique group of prospects, in this case, 977 of them. And they're all going to receive this highly personalized messaging with the unique workflows attached. And then you sit back and monitor your inbox. Your inbox management shouldn't take more than 5 minutes a day, because all you're doing is popping in here and looking for green envelopes. Green envelopes mean new incoming responses. So you can say, okay, show me all my unread messages. Well, here's my to-do for the day. I'm just going to roll through, open up each green envelope, respond accordingly, and then I'm basically done. Let the machine keep doing its work. So that's the demo. I don't want to go into too much detail here, but that's the fun.
No, that's awesome. So basically, when somebody connects to something, the automation's going, and then somebody connects, they like accept your connection request or whatever, then that makes their contact information accessible to Castanet, and Castanet's able to then go create the contact in HighLevel and push them into a workflow.
So every LinkedIn profile is different. You can see some here have their email address and phone number visible, others don't. That is all permission-based within LinkedIn. So if a LinkedIn user says, don't display my contact information to anyone, then we don't get that contact. We're not scraping it out of their login credentials or anything of that nature. This is all permission-based access. So other permission levels might be only display my contact information to someone I'm connected with. So that means that on day 1, we may not have their contact information, but after we connect with them, then it will update. So yes, that's basically what the system is doing, is displaying what we're allowed to display per user. Every campaign that's imported, you own the data. So you can not only import it in the Castanet, you can export it into a Google Sheet. So this will automatically create a CSV export of every single data point and every single detail that we have on every single prospect, including birth date, phone number, website, all of that. So this is the kind of stuff that you can actually show to your prospects or to your clients and say, hey, here's the list that we're targeting. Here's the statuses of where we're at with each of these. And you can even, see the notes. The notes are this final column over here on the side. So this list, this export is just available to every single user of Castanet. We don't hold it ransom. It's your data. We give it to you.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for the tour. I think that's really interesting. I mean, you could put together a really, like you said, I mean, valuable offering where, traditionally to pay somebody, an agency, to prospect and work leads for you costs a fortune, right? Because we're paying humans for their time. Whereas here we could say, hey, for this price, we guarantee we're going to target this many people per month on average. Like I'd imagine once you do it for a while, you showed us those averages at the bottom, right? With reply rates and this rate. So you would know going in, like, yeah, this is the price. We target this many people. Typically we get this many engagements, and then we nurture them using HighLevel for however long you want to do that in HighLevel, but you're basically guaranteeing prospecting and action. And it's like, if any given time you want the list, I could send you the list too. If you guys want to call it till you're blue in the face, great. But like we're doing that every day, like guaranteed. Right. And it's not.
And with the HighLevel integration, it ensures that every prospect who expresses interest or who's open to having conversation is now getting nurtured outside of LinkedIn, which is so important these days. You don't want to try to close deals in LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the right environment to identify prospects, get those relationships started, and once you've got that conversation going, get it out of there. But that's just for appointment setting purposes. Generally, is where if your goal is to appointment set, well, yes, you want to follow the model we just shared. But I have users who are high-level CEOs that just want to nurture their existing network. So you might have 5,000 or 6,000 or 10,000 people in your existing network, and you just want to send them a once-a-month touch point. Well, right. You can, and you can set up a 1-year drip campaign to just stay engaged with all the people in your network. So that's possible too. There's a lot of variations and different strategies depending upon what the goal and the outcome of the campaign is really designed to be.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love, honestly, personally, I love year-long nurtures, right? Because even if it's an email a month, like 12 emails, that's not that difficult to craft. But to be able to say like, yeah, we nurture prospects for a year in LinkedIn and in email and in, SMS if we have their phone number. That's a pretty robust offering that you could put together, to be honest.
It certainly is. And that's where, the opportunity to generate real revenue as a division of your agency is it's there. I mean, like I said, my agency partners are charging anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month for managed profiles. So you don't need very many of those to make a big difference in your agency. But then also for yourself, I mean, you're probably already paying for leads or doing your own cold outreach. And what's your time worth? A quick equation I like to share, this is part of our training, is if you were to sell the software to an organization that has 10 sales reps, and just reverse engineer everything. If that organization has sales reps who are selling B2B, statistically, they're probably spending between 4 to 6 hours a week cold prospecting on LinkedIn. So 4 to 6 hours, let's say an average of 5 times 10, there's 50 hours a week times 4, there's 200 hours a month being spent on cold prospecting on LinkedIn. Castanet can automate 90% of that and do it with more consistency and more regularity over the course of the entire month than what the sales reps will do themselves. So savings alone in time, the system just paid for itself. But now you start bringing in Well, organizationally, you also get access to data that you never had before. You've got a dashboard where you can see, what are your sales reps doing? Are they following the proper protocol? Are they using the sequence we defined? Are they actually following up on the leads the way they're supposed to? So another huge benefit. Then you go CRM integration. Once we connect the CRM to the tool, now the organization owns the data. And if that sales rep bounce and switch to a competitor, they're not taking all those leads that the company paid for and carrying them over to a competitor. So the value proposition to an organization with sales teams is tremendous. And the opportunity to charge, $1,000 or $2,000 a month for software it's there.
Yeah, totally. No, for B2B, I mean, folks that are working with B2B, seems like a slam dunk. So Geoff, you guys put together, you guys have a lot of resources put together for agencies, to be honest. And so you guys you set it up just for us, a URL, right? What was that? GoCastanet.com just /HighLevel?
Yes. So GoCastanet.com/HighLevel will get you access to our HighLevel agency page. There's going to be some resources on there. There's going to be kind of a general overview. There's a form that you can submit back to us if you want to do a demo one-on-one with a member of my team. And we don't care if you're looking to white label the product today, if you're looking to provide it to one of your clients, or you just want to talk about how you can use Castanet for yourself to generate your own leads. We'll take you however and wherever you're at. That's part of the discovery process is, who are you as an organization? Who are your customers? How can we help? And we'll build the package to suit your needs and your clients' needs.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, if you guys are watching, you've got clients in B2B. Sounds like a pretty good offering. It's at gocastanet.com/HighLevel. And now it's natively integrated. So you're going to be pulling prospects straight out of LinkedIn right into your HighLevel account. And I really like the model of reselling that. And the pricing looks pretty favorably for that model as well. So Geoff, thanks so much for coming on to share.
And Chase, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to work with you and your entire network. This is a really exciting partnership for us.
Likewise. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.